An explosive opening moment, a surge of speed slicing through the icy water. Without display or hesitation, the orca drives straight into the encounter, and the ocean seems to fall silent. They spread into formation, cut precise angles, seal off escape routes, and guide the target toward a predetermined point. Every movement carries purpose. Every strike lands with chilling accuracy. Within that vast blue world, who possesses the resolve to challenge the one that holds command? Orcas are present across most of the world's oceans, from waters as cold as 32 degrees Fahrenheit to more temperate regions. They live in tightly bonded family groups, connected through distinct acoustic languages unique to each pod. They operate through coordination and memory, turning the vast ocean into a strategic map shared by the entire group. And when prey shifts with the seasons, the orcas adjust their routes as well, maintaining balance within the rhythm of the sea. In the deep ocean, the great white shark reigns like a perfectly engineered hunter. Weighing up to 5,000 pounds, with a bite force around 4,000 pounds per square inch, it can sense electric fields tied to a heartbeat from miles away. Yet even this solitary ruler must stay wary of another force. The orca, the black and white phantoms of the sea. Rather than relying on sudden aggression, orcas apply a strategy built on calculation. They move into formation, using sound to disrupt the shark's highly tuned senses. In a precisely coordinated moment, an orca delivers a decisive move, rolling the opponent onto its back. Almost instantly, the shark enters tonic immobility, a temporary shutdown of movement that can be enough to decide the outcome. The single objective is maximum energy gain, the treasure that turns a ruler into a target. When the hunter turns a ruler into a target, nature's message becomes clear. Ultimate power does not belong to the sharpest jaws, but to collective intelligence that can master instinct through strategy. Within polar ecosystems, seals are more than just marine mammals. They are mobile reserves of energy, rich with valuable blubber. With an average weight of about 600 pounds, a single seal provides an immense number of calories, making it worth the most advanced strategies on the planet. This dense source of nutrition has made seals a primary target, accounting for more than 60% of the diet of orcapods that specialize in hunting marine mammals. When a target is spotted resting on drifting ice, the pod does not rush in recklessly. Instead, they execute a technique known as wavewashing. Lining up side by side, they strike the water in unison with powerful tail thrusts, generating forceful surges that crash against the edge of the ice. The surface begins to tilt, turning what seemed like secure shelter into unstable ground. If the ice platform proves too solid, they may use their combined mass to push upward from below, weakening the structure before sending another coordinated surge across the surface. Once the seal slips from the ice, its chances of escape diminish rapidly within the carefully arranged formation waiting below. Yet the ocean is not only a battleground, it is also a classroom. Mother orcas are often observed capturing and releasing prey, allowing calves to practice timing, contact, and pursuit. This cultural transmission, a shared inheritance of learned behavior, is what enables orcas to maintain their enduring position at the top of the marine world. Dolphins are exceptional ocean athletes, equipped with refined echolocation systems and swimming speeds exceeding 20 miles per hour. They operate within tightly bonded societies, using complex communication to protect one another. Yet the laws of nature always present formidable trials. The orca, the largest and most intelligent member of the dolphin family, turns every encounter into the ultimate test of survival between close relatives. The pursuit does not begin with raw force, but with a carefully calculated pincer strategy. One group maintains steady pressure from behind, sustaining a controlled pace that gradually wears down the limits of the opposing pod. Ahead, another group silently positions itself, forming an invisible barrier that narrows every possible escape route. Amid the confusion, when a weaker individual or a calf becomes separated, the orca delivers a powerful hydrodynamic impact. Weighing up to 12,000 pounds, such force can shut down any chance of escape almost immediately. The encounter concludes with precise coordination, without a single wasted movement. Against a disciplined orca task force, the line between safety and danger can be as thin as a single stroke. It stands as a stark reminder. Speed creates opportunity, but persistence and strategic intelligence ultimately determine who commands the ocean. Gray whales are the travelers of one of the longest migrations on Earth, covering more than 10,000 miles across icy polar waters toward warmer lagoons. Along this demanding route, mothers keep calves close at their side, using their own bodies as a living shield against waves and lurking danger. Yet the greatest challenge is not the ocean itself, but the masterful intelligence of orcas. Rather than rushing in, the pod follows patiently, waiting for narrow waters where the opposing formation is easier to disrupt. With numbers reaching up to 20 individuals, they apply a strict division of roles. One group pressures the tail, another blocks forward movement, and another stays tight along the flank. Amid churning columns of water, an invisible order takes shape, where acoustic signals allow the entire pod to coordinate as a single unit. The encounter reaches its end when endurance and long-range cooperative strategy overcome the target's sheer size. At the Valdés Peninsula, the ocean at times becomes a stage of tension when the targets are sea lions weighing more than 600 pounds, resting near the water's edge. The advantage lies in the tide. As the water rises, the boundary between sea and shore narrows, allowing an orca to remain concealed beneath breaking waves while waiting for a brief lapse in awareness from a young individual. With a single delayed beat, the orca accelerates toward shore, propelling half its body onto the sand before pivoting back toward the water. It is a high-stakes gamble. A slight miscalculation with the rhythm of the waves can leave even the hunter stranded permanently. If a young sea lion is drawn from the beach, the pod quickly tightens formation, guiding it into deeper water and limiting its path of retreat. This reflects social learning, a skill repeated, refined, and passed on to the next generation. These pursuits also serve as a demanding field classroom, where adults lead the young to understand the texture of sand, the timing of waves, and the margins of error that cannot be repeated. That transfer of knowledge is what allows this rare shoreline hunting technique to endure within each orca family. Unlike gray whales, humpback whales stand as formidable giants, reaching lengths of over 50 feet and weights of up to 80,000 pounds. With tail strikes powerful enough to move thousands of pounds of water and songs that carry for miles, they are rarely easy to overpower. Especially during calving season, a mother's protective instinct intensifies to its highest level. Yet when faced with such immense energy, orcas are willing to test the limits of this ocean giant. Rather than engaging head-on, they apply a strategy of endurance, rotating positions, maintaining steady pursuit, and gradually wearing down their opponent's strength. In narrow straits, as the formation tightens, they execute a decisive separation maneuver, isolating the calf from the mother's reach. This is not merely a hunt, but a calculated display of strategy set against one of the ocean's strongest maternal defenses. The Arctic is not just a frozen wilderness. It is an arena where strength determines survival. A polar bear moves forward in silence, every sense sharpened to its limit. In a sudden surge, sheer weight and instinct take control of the pursuit. Yet dominance is never guaranteed. Another presence is already waiting to claim its share. In this numbing cold, the throne of ice doesn't belong to the slow. Along the gravel shores of the Arctic Ocean, the walrus appears like a living fortress. Weighing around 3,700 pounds as an adult, with tusks stretching close to 3 feet, it signals clearly that it is no easy target. When the herd presses tightly together, it forms a moving wall of defense. For that reason, the polar bear does not charge in seeking a quick finish. It studies the formation, searching for a gap in the herd's order. When the moment comes, it moves along the edge to trigger confusion, pushing the group toward the sea. In that brief disruption lies the real opportunity, a young individual falling out of sync. The bear closes in and delivers decisive forward swipes. In the polar region, every minute of pursuit burns thousands of calories, turning walrus hunts into costly risks, with success rates often below 10%. Strength is not only measured in the approach, but also in the decision to withdraw at the right time. Conserving energy, enduring the season, and waiting for the ice to open another opportunity. In the White Kingdom, 6 seal lineages form a lifeline for the entire ecosystem. Among them, the ringed seal, about 5 feet long and weighing roughly 150 pounds, stands as the most critical link. To endure beneath thick sea ice, it maintains narrow breathing holes only 8 inches wide, a biological structure that sustains life, yet also creates vulnerability. Just above the frozen surface, the polar bear begins its silent ritual. With paws nearly 12 inches across acting as natural shock absorbers, the predator moves without sound, sensing subtle shifts in the wind from as far as half a mile away. It pauses, lowers its body, and compresses every motion into stillness. When the seal rises for air, the quiet instantly breaks. In less than a second, a swift strike removes any chance to retreat. Hunting does not occur on ice alone. When the floes fracture into drifting fragments, the polar bear shifts roles, becoming a powerful swimmer capable of traveling dozens of miles through 28-degree water. It approaches resting seals on isolated ice, using wind direction and current to narrow the distance, until the only response left is a reflexive slide back into the sea. At the far north, every breathing hole becomes a crossroads of survival, linking ice, ocean, and fragile rhythm. And the one who endures, the one who understands the silence of ice and the timing of the sea, continues forward through the endless winter. The Arctic is an unforgiving land, where survival can turn into harsh confrontation between members of the same species. When sea ice, the lifeline of the hunting grounds, shrinks to only a few scattered square miles, fragile balance begins to collapse. Ritual displays of restraint fade, replaced by cold territorial drive. An encounter begins with a display of strength from two massive bodies weighing more than 1,500 pounds each. Slow advances and low, resonant growls deliver a clear warning. Most confrontations end in demonstration alone. A powerful foreleg strike enough for the smaller bear to retreat, yielding the key to the territory so energy can be preserved. Yet when hunger persists, biology reveals a harsher reality. Cubs may become targets. A mother bear, even at half the rival's weight, immediately positions herself as a living shield between danger and her young. At that point, the struggle is no longer about territory, but about the continuation of lineage. Facing the sharpened teeth of a determined rival, the mother bear launches relentless defensive charges, a powerful reminder that maternal instinct can be one of the most formidable forces on Earth. Across the frozen tundra, where temperatures often drop to -30 degrees Fahrenheit, the reindeer stands as a symbol of northern endurance. Each year, the herd travels more than 2,000 miles, carrying antlers weighing nearly 30 pounds and wide hooves that spread weight across soft snow. The polar bear, the quiet ruler of the Arctic, represents extreme adaptation, relying not on speed, but on strategy. Weighing around 1,500 pounds, it studies wind and terrain, using 40-mile-per-hour gusts to blur sound and scent. That advantage allows the predator to approach individuals that fall behind or grow fatigued during the long migration. When the herd is pressed toward shallow, ice-rimmed lakes, its mobility begins to fade. Slippery surfaces and frigid water disrupt the running rhythm, while a layer of fat more than 4 inches thick helps the bear maintain steady pressure. In a precisely timed surge, the advantage shifts decisively. In the stark silence of the North, this is not merely a meal, it is the outcome of strategy, opportunity, and the fragile balance at the top of the world. Summer fractures massive sheets of ice, opening narrow channels that become migration routes for the unicorns of the sea, the narwhal. Weighing around 3,500 pounds and carrying a spiraled tusk that can reach nearly 10 feet, they glide through the cold water like proud shadows of the northern ocean. When the tide recedes, the polar bear does not rush. It stands motionless, like a living stone, waiting for a brief lapse as the narwhal pod focuses on Arctic cod near the ice edge. At times, it commits fully with a plunge from nearly 10 feet above, swift, controlled without excess. Yet the frigid sea rarely favors the slower contender. And sometimes, nature balances the scale in another way. A stranded whale becomes a rare source of energy, its blubber measuring about 4 inches thick. There is no triumph, no spectacle, only the quiet transfer of energy continuing its cycle. At glacial river mouths, where the ocean meets the land, the beluga appears like quiet white ribbons moving through cold gray water. Each individual weighs around 3,000 pounds, traveling in pods and using the tides to move in and out of shallow bays. When the water recedes, isolated pools can become natural traps. Late winter or early summer brings conditions that allow rare encounters. The polar bear climbs onto a rock ledge about 10 feet high, patiently observing the surface below. When a slight ripple forms and a white head rises for air, the decisive moment arrives. Claws nearly 2 inches long, supported by powerful shoulder muscles, secure control in shallow water. A bite force estimated at around 1,200 pounds per square inch can firmly prevent escape. Even so, this strategy depends entirely on tidal rhythm and occurs only in limited situations. Along the fragile boundary between water and ice, this is not merely a display of strength, but a test of patience and terrain awareness. If the opportunity passes, the bear withdraws quietly and continues along the coastline in search of another chance. When summer arrives and drifting sea ice pulls beyond reach, the polar bear enters a new chapter of survival. Moving away from the ocean, the white giant, weighing close to half a ton, begins a demanding journey across some of the harshest terrain on land in search of alternative food sources. At northern streams, the polar bear takes on another role. It stands quietly in frigid water, watching the current and waiting for precise timing. In a swift, accurate sweep, the surface breaks, bringing the brief chase to an end before a silver salmon can clear the rocks. Whether on sheer cliffs or within rushing streams, the polar bear demonstrates remarkable adaptability. The ultimate advantage that allows it to endure in a world that continues to change. Within the deeper layers of the ocean, the orca rises as a dominant presence, shaping its domain through strategy and precise coordination. Order is maintained through collective intelligence and disciplined teamwork. If those black and white movements are impossible to look away from, press like to support the video, and hit subscribe so you won't miss the next survival strategies unfolding across the sea. The ocean still holds many secrets beneath its calm surface, and the journey is far from over.